Okay, good afternoon and welcome to Masai School. And as you all know that Masai School is attempting a transformation in education where you learn to earn pay only when you get hired. And when we started Masai School, what we did was we connected with the stakeholders in the organization. It could be the CEO, the CTO, the CHRO, or the recruitment manager, talent acquisition. We asked one question: what do you look for when you are hiring? And they said it very easily. We look for competent programmer when we look for tech hiring. And then we distilled further. What does it mean a competent programmer? They said the basic tech stack that we are looking for, he must be comfortable with, depending on the position that he is joining for. But in addition to that, we expect him to be a good communicator, good team player, ability to work remotely, certain soft skills they were looking for. And they also said that the person should bring to the table adaptability, flexibility, growth mindset, willing to work in team. And that's what they're talking about, a programmer mindset. So with that thing in context, what we did was we rolled out a program called Skillathon, wherein which our students get an opportunity to learn these skills of soft skills and a programmer mindset so they become a competent programmer. So today, what are we going to learn, friends? Today, before we start what we are going to learn, I'm going to show you two sets of images. And I want to use your chat box and tell me what is it that they're doing. So this is the first image that is coming on up your screen. And I give you 10 seconds. I want you to observe carefully and then use your chat box and tell what is it that you interpret with this message, with this image. The second image is this. Okay, Abhishek says online meeting. Okay, any other thoughts? Is it only an online meeting or it could be communicating? Okay, what he's watching a video. Digvijay is saying, okay, he's watching a video. You think he's watching a video with this image? Maybe, may not be. Yeah, active communication, discussing something, absolutely, explaining something, presenting something, showcasing something, discussion with one or many with an audience. It could be a sales call, it could be an internal call, it could be a call with his family. We don't know, but one thing is for sure that he is communicating most likely the way they interpret the message is all about. Now let's go back what we were discussing. We said effective communication has four parts. One is listening effectively, speaking effectively, reading effectively, and writing effectively. And we have already covered the three elements in the last week and some of amount of time on this week. We learned a powerful structure called power for writing. Then for listening, we said that we should move away from pretending to superficial and selective to active listening. And talking about reading, we gave you a concept that why reading is important, how you can build this reading habit, and how you can build your capability. Listening and reading are an input, writing and speaking are output. Now, speaking effectively is a very, very vast topic. Now, I can go on this topic for even 20, 30 hours and still it will not be sufficient. Because one thing that requires tremendous effort amongst these four is speaking. Now, when you speak, there are so many things comes into the context. While reading, right, nobody is looking at you. While writing, you have time to think and write. And while listening, nobody is going to actually ask you certain questions whether you have understood carefully. But while speaking, there are so many things comes to play. It could be verbal, non-verbal, your memory, ability to form sentences, structure the sentences. There are so many parameters that fall into play. That is why the moment somebody says communication, generally what he is referring is this element called speaking. But we have said that if you get these three blocks well, and ability to speak better becomes multipliable. So let's look at, today I'm going to talk about one segment of speaking effectively. It's all about effective virtual presentation. Now, that is why I said that what you're going to learn today, if you absorb it completely, internalize it, practice it, and make it as a habit, I guarantee you, it's going to make a huge difference in order to achieve your aspirations. And one of the aspirations of all our students is to clear the course, get onto a job, aspirational jobs. And to that happens, your ability to present virtually becomes very important. Okay. Now you all know that you don't get jobs basis your resume. You get your jobs basis many things. You have to first of all make a resume and a portfolio. Your resume and portfolio needs to be shortlisted. Then you go for a technical round. You must be able to write the code, but it doesn't end there. You will be called for a virtual interview, wherein which you need to demonstrate a project or give a thought process on why you wrote that code. Once you do that, then you will have a HR round interview, and then you probably go for an offer discussion. So this entire journey is a long journey, right? And one important element which can make or break your candidature is virtual ability to present virtually. Are you all with me so far? I just want to set the context, what we are learning and why we are learning. Okay. In the next 30-40 minutes, I'm going to give you 10 tips. I'm going to give you 10 tips. And if you internalize these 10 tips and make it a habit, I'll tell you, you will start enjoying virtual presentation. You become effective in virtual presentation. In fact, you will say, I want to make more. Okay. It's not a rocket science. It's a learnable skill. And all it requires is deep desire to be a good virtual presenter, and you learn it right and practice it on a regular basis. And the best thing is you will have immense opportunities at Masai School during your journey to present as many times as possible to the team, within the team, amongst your deliberate practice members. So it can get only better and better from here. Okay, so let's start. Now, I just want to say that it is sad many a times that you spend 1, 2, 3 days or even weeks to build something. It could be an individual project or a collaborative project, and only to bomb on the day of demonstration. When I say bomb, I'm not talking about technically the presentation itself bombs. Happens to many of them. It is no surprise that it happens because one, you're exhausted and you're racing to finish your project. That is one element. But what happens is you may spend hours together, days together preparing your technical piece, but you don't even spend an hour to think through how you are going to present what you are going to present. Right? Typically, you get a less than 5 minutes to make a presentation. Right? How long does the interview last? Most of the interviews are between 20 to 30 minutes for at the level at which you are going for. Maybe when you go for a leadership hiring, the interviews can be much longer, but typically your interviews are 20, 30 minutes. And if you're able to do a good 20, 30 minutes impact, you are unlikely that you will not be shortlisted. So it is important that you learn this art and science of virtual presentation and get going further there. So I'm going to give you some inputs that will help you, whether it is a project presentation, hackathon presentation, or simply a presentation that you need to do even during an interview. Okay, so let's start. I want to start with a quote by Gregory Burns. It's one of my favorite quotes. And he says it very simply: a person can have the greatest idea in the world, but if that person can't convince enough other people, it doesn't matter. Once again, a person can have the greatest idea in the world, greatest product in the world, but if that person can't convince enough other people, it doesn't matter. So ability to convince, ability to influence is largely through your communication, your ability to make a presentation. So that is the way the corporate life is going to be. Now, many a times you and your team might have some great idea to implement changes in the website. I'm just giving a website as an example. And your team is called for a weekly meeting, and you have managed to secure 15 minutes of the leadership team time to present, but you're not able to present it. Very unlikely that people are going to buy your idea. So make sure that you build this skill, and it is not a difficult skill. It is definitely a learnable skill. So why this is becoming even more important, friends? Because of the COVID-19 situation, you know that remote working is becoming a more and more norm. Things were just improving. We thought that there could be a large percentage of people returning back to office, but again, with the recent spike, which has happened in March and April and likely to continue, it's going to be very bad. Incidentally, today I took the first shot of COVID vaccine. I'm eligible. I'm 46 years. So I went today morning and I took the shot. Things went very smoothly. The entire registration to taking that jab. I was just wondering, a prick which can creating a lot of a cure to this dreaded virus is amazing. So transition to remote working is not an option. It may become mandatory, right? Now, what has happened post-COVID? You must have heard this news. 75% of TCS employee, Facebook is planning to salary based on the expansion. 75% of IBM India employees will permanently work from home. IBM is reducing the office space by 50%. You must have seen all this news. During the COVID, it is done and dusted. Many companies are going to work remotely. In fact, at Masai School, close to 85-90% of our students get work from home offer. But that doesn't mean that you're not going to work in office. You may be work in office. Maybe it could be a hybrid. We don't know. Okay, so let's move forward. So remote hiring, remote onboarding, remote working is the new norm, and there are both pros and cons with that. But we need to adapt. This is what our organization decide us to do that. Now, good old days, the presentation was largely like this, right? You stand up and make a presentation. Sometimes you use a projector and you make a presentation. You may have an audience of 4, 5, 10, 20 members, depending upon the team and the purpose. But largely now it has moved from that to this, like what we are doing. What are we doing? I'm making a presentation to 130 people spread across the length and breadth of the country. And I'm trying to make a presentation on how do I improve my virtual project presentation, right? So this is how likely to be the meeting. So there are certain challenges when you are doing a virtual presentation vis-a-vis this presentation. Now, this presentation, your body language, your ability to connect with the other person, ability to engage with the other person is quite high. That doesn't mean that you can't do this. You can do this, but you need to master it. You need to put in more effort. You need to bring in the energy more here. Because what happens is when a person is remote, you can't really see what the other person is doing. Unless otherwise you have a very small team and everyone is switching on the camera and everyone can be seen on the big screen. Okay. Now, this is what you're likely to do. So as Charles Darwin said it beautifully, not now some 200 years back, it is not the strongest of species that survive, nor the most intelligent, but the one most responsive to change. And I feel this set of students at Masai School who have seen that they require a change. That is why you are able to survive irrespective of what happens in your campus placement. Because you have decided that I need to change. If I have to go there, I need to improve my capability. I need to change my tech stack. I need to improve my communication skill. I need to improve my programmer mindset. So you are destined for a change, but I want you to hit even higher level. I want you guys to take a shot on more aspirational by building capability rather than waiting for a chance. So the question is, we need to adapt and rise. There is no other choice. We need to adapt and rise. So as I told you, I'm going to give you 10 tips in the next half an hour or 45 minutes. And it could be, these tips can be used either for an interview, making a project presentation. I'm not talking about interviewing skills here. In the interview stage, you're either it could be a technical person or anyone says that demonstrate a project to me. Okay, you said that you have created some projects. It is in your GitHub repository. Can you walk me through a project? Or it could be walk me through the code. Or it could be during your unit evaluation, one of your IAs says that, hey, Mahesh, hey, Sanket, hey, Arpit, can you walk me through this? Can you make that project presentation? Or when you are going to build projects, hackathons, and you are being shortlisted, you're making a presentation to the panel. That is the context with which I'm talking here. So I'm going to give you 10 tips for effective virtual presentation. It could be a project or hackathon. I'm breaking it down into two parts. One is what you do before the presentation, and one what you do during the presentation. Because I'm a firm believer in getting ready. And I also a firm believer in this 5 Ps. Proper preparation prevents poor performance. Many people perform poorly because they don't prepare. They don't ask questions to themselves. They may not anticipate what is the next step, what to be done, how to be done. They don't check many things because of which they perform poorly. They just get up and they think that they can do on the fly. On the fly doesn't work for most people. Even if it works, it is by a chance. By design, it can't work. So proper preparation prevents poor performance. So tip number 1, I said I'm going to give you 10 tips. The tip number 1 is to check your hygiene factors. Now, what are the hygiene factors you need to check? first and foremost, please check the mic. Ask your friend, connect with your friend and say, I'm going to speak. Is my voice traveling clearly? Is there any jarring effect? Or should I look at a different headphones through which I need to speak? Mike, you need to take care of your headphones, because sometimes you need to answer some questions. Do you want to put on a headphone and ask, or do you want to turn on your camera? Is very important. Am I audible? That is being done on the day, but before that you are fixing, right? If you're going to say, am I audible, on the day on which you're going to do, and if they say you are not audible, can you go and fix your tech at that time? So preparation is yeah, before the presentation, so that if there are any issues that you can fix it. Check your webcam, check the positioning. How is the webcam looking? How is your background looking? How am I looking in the webcam? Check you, ask your friends, am I clear? Or am I looking a little odd there? Lighting. Most people have not understood the importance of lighting in order to have a better picture. If you see that, is my picture clear? Is my picture clear? Can you just give me a quick yes? Because I've taken effort to do that. I want the natural light to come from there, and I also have some additional light from there, so that you can see me absolutely clear. Previously, I used to sit this side. Now, actually, this is the position. This is my son's room, my son's table, which I have taken over for the last 1 year plus. Right? Now, if I sit this side, the light is not coming. The light is coming from this side, and it looks much darker. So if I want to give an optimum image, I need to make sure the lighting is appropriate. So you need to see which direction are you going to sit to make that project presentation. People don't do this preparation. They just think that any corner I can sit and do it. It will not come properly. The background I've already discussed. It needs to be clear background, right? If you struggle with a background, just use a white screen, right? You can use a large white bed sheet or something like that, and just put it as a background for you, so that it is absolutely clear. Internet, please check, make sure you have a broadband connection. If you don't have, you're using a hotspot, make sure that it is decent enough, and make sure you have enough power in your laptop or a backup that you have if you can afford one. And turn off all notification. Now tell me, friends, any of these are rocket science? No, but I challenge you, 8 of 10 people, they don't check this. They don't check the mic, they don't check the headphone, they don't check the webcam, they don't check the lighting, background. They just take it for granted, nor they don't understand how this will make an impact on how the person is going to perceive it. So please make this. I'm going to send the entire checklist to you on each of these items that will be helpful to make an impactful project presentation. So infra ho gaya. Let's look at the tip number 2. The tip number 2 is I've already spoken about the lighting. Some tips on lighting is very important. That the light, test your camera before that, and the light should come from the front and not from the background or from the top. If it is directly from the top, it creates an effect called Buddha effect. You feel that as though there is a halo lighting behind you. So avoid all those to be happen, and make sure your web camera is in the center and you are looking there. Imagine that if I have moved that window here and I'm going to look at like this and talk to my students, how does it look? Right? I'm continuously talking like this, looking down, right? Because I've kept that window right bottom, or I'm moving to the left bottom here, or looking there, or looking there. What I do, I always keep it right in where the camera is, and so that I can look at the camera. I feel that as though I'm talking to all of you, and you will feel that I'm talking to you. Yes or no? Right? There's no magic in it. It is simple understanding this. And if you can do that, you will fix it. Okay. So this is something that you need to take care about it. Once you have done that, you need to do a bit of a dry run. Dry run is nothing but a practice. That let's say that you have a project that you need to present, you need to do dry runs. You need to practice. Do several dry runs. The more you practice, it's going to become more comfortable. Record yourself on Zoom and watch it. Imagine that there is a person outside, or do a couple of dry run with your practice buddy or your colleagues or your friends, saying that, hey, I have to do this, and let's do this together, and I'm going to give you a feedback. So a couple of dry runs. There's a beautiful proverb which says that the more you sweat in peace, the less you bleed in war. So interview is a war, project presentation is a war, and I want you to sweat when you are preparing for it, so that you can do it even better. Now, obviously, one thing that happens is uh, the moment you have been asked to make a presentation, for a lot of people, you have anxiety and stress. Even I have. The only thing is that you don't notice it. It is quite natural. But some people don't overcome it, and they take over you, and your entire performance drops. Do you think when Amitabh Bachchan goes on the KBC stage, he does not have anxiety and stress, even after acting for 50 years, winning so many awards, countless number of takes? He has. Even me, after doing 10 years of training and development, I would have done more than 10,000 students, I don't know, 1,000 plus sessions. Do you think I don't have anxiety and stress every time I do a session? I have. But the only thing is, I know how to overcome. I know how to handle it. Okay. Now, first and foremost, before you start, all you need to do is take a three deep breath and smile. I don't know how many of you seen before you start, I do like this because that is the way I come to the zone. It is like a cricketer. He doesn't just go to the pitch and he starts, come on, bowl. What does he do? He first takes a guard. He looks at the pitch. He just wants to get into the zone. And it is even more a challenge for you because you have 5 minutes, 7 minutes to make a presentation. And then how is it that quickly that you can get into the zone is, let's say your presentation is going to start next and somebody is making a presentation now, and you know 5 minutes before you start, take a three deep breath and smile. That is very important. You have not switched on the camera. Nobody is going to see. You're smiling. And the very fact that you're going to smile, it is going to make you relax. And all that you need to say is, I am relaxed. I am relaxed. I used to do this. And I used to do this quite often, even when I used to do as in-person sessions. I just, before I start, I just go to the corner. I just get my thoughts clear. Okay, I'm going to do well today. I'm going to do well today. All is well. Whatever you want to do this, three deep breaths. The moment you take more amount of oxygen, see what is happening is this monkey in the brain wants to control you, right? It's going to tell that, oh, yeah, you're going to make a presentation. So many people are going to watch. You're going to be under stress, right? It's going to overtake you. In order to get you under control, take a three deep breath and smile. And smile and say, I'm relaxed. As you keep doing that. And one more hack, I don't know how many of you have seen. I always keep the warm water with me. I take warm water because as a presenter, your voice needs to be clear. Don't drink cold water, especially before any presentation. Either take warm water or room temperature. Okay, and keep sipping water so that you can keep your throat moist. Okay, so okay, using mantra also helps. Anything that you want, you're comfortable, you do it, but you must do it before you start. It's a big hack. I'm telling you. You do this and tell me next time if it is not happening. I want to know what did you do and why it is not happening. So part A, three things: preparing the infrastructure. Second is you need to overcome the anxiety and stress and dry runs. If you take care of these three things, you are good to go. Now comes part B. Are you all okay with part A? Have you understood? What are the things that you need to do in part A? Yes, no rocket science. But again, I'm telling you, 8 to 9 out of 10 people don't do part A. What do? They straight away walk in for the presentation. Like I'm a Rambo, I'm a commando, I'm an NSG, that kind of a thing. But in fact, those people do a lot of preparation before coming. So let's look at during the presentation. One objective, if you tell me what you should do during the presentation, is to create that impact. Remember, there is always a resistance. You can overcome a resistance by creating the impact. Now, how do you do that? I'm going to give you 7 tips. Now, if you want to create an impact, you need to take care of 3 C's. You must demonstrate these 3 C's. Now, what is the first C is you must demonstrate confidence. Now, typically the confidence comes when you know what you are going to present. Confidence is demonstrated when you have very comfortable in navigating the project. The moment you have confidence and comfort, you have the control over the entire presentation. People who are not confidence and comfort, they don't demonstrate control, they struggle. So one thing is for sure, if you want to create an impact, all you need to do is take care of these three C's. And generally, if you practice well and prepare well, your confidence is high. And if you learn the art and science of presentation, you become very comfortable. When confidence and comfort is there, and you are in complete control of the flow. Okay, so let's start. Tip number 4 is greeting and introduction. What very simple. These are basic hygiene factors. What does it mean? All I'm saying is when you start the presentation, all it requires is to start with a greeting and a quick introduction. Good afternoon. My name is Yogesh. Me, along with Ram Singh and Aditya, have put together this project. And this project is all about making a pixel perfect website of Swiggy. Now, how much time it took? 10 seconds? 5 seconds? People don't do it. They don't do it. They don't give greetings. They don't introduce themselves. They don't introduce others. Terrible. It's a wrong start. Okay. And inform your team name. Sometimes you may put together as a team name in hackathon. You can do that. When you do that, you must share enthusiasm. You must show that you are excited on creating this project. Guys, please understand, it is your project, your baby. If you are not enthusiastic about your project, do you think the person on the other side will be enthusiastic? No, right? If I'm not enthusiastic about this presentation to Ninjas 2, will Ninjas be interested in what I'm saying? No way. So make sure you share enthusiasm. Enthusiasm is shared how? Through your voice, through your body language, through your smile, your voice modulation. All those things will help you to connect with people. Now, this happens in 15-20 seconds. Now, make sure you do not skip it. If you want, keep a checklist. If you think that initially you will struggle, you may forget it, keep a small checklist next to your screen saying that greetings tick, introduction of self tick, introduction of team members tick, team name tick, enthusiasm, connect, look at the web camera. All those are important. You know, I'll tell you, I learned this skill of presentation, making training only in the last 10 years, right? I was happy to have some very good mentors. Now, when I used to do a dry run, my colleague used to sit there, senior colleague, Bhushan used to sit there and help me a lot. And he told me that, Yogesh, why are you looking at the ceiling? Your participants are going to be at the eye level. There, you must look at them. Now, that was something that he corrected very long. Otherwise, I would have continued looking at top. A lot of people still make presentation looking at top or looking at bottom. Eye contact is very important. So what I'm trying to say is greeting and introduction is absolute must. Once you have done that, you need to quickly set the scene. You need to give the context, set the tone, as they say. What do you do here? You state what is the problem statement that you are trying to resolve. You must share with them what have you built here. Who are the users and what are the key tech stacks used here? Very simple. Hey, the problem statement given to us is we need to create a pixel perfect website of Dunzo, and the users here could be both the end consumer or the admins or anyone in the Dunzo company. And what are the tech stacks that I've used? The following tech stacks I've used. For the front end, I've used Bootstrap and CSS and React. And for back end, I've used this. And for the servers, this is what I have done. Quickly set that tone. So look at the way you have started. Look at the flow. Look at the connect. Look at the entire seamless movement that is happening. You have started by introducing yourself, your team, thanking the team members being there. You demonstrated enthusiasm. Quickly, you have set the scene by talking about the problem statement, who are the users, and highlighting the tech stack. Again, all this will get done in less than a minute. All this is done in a minute. Now you demonstrate your working project. Now, what do people do? Straight away, they go to demonstrate the working project. without doing the first 5 steps. They have not prepared. They have not checked the hygiene infra. They have not done the dry run. They have not. They have not introduced themselves and the team members. They have not done the tech stack. What is it that they have used? How do you expect, if you have not done the first 5 steps, straight away you go to demo and working project? Very difficult. Okay. Now, what do you do? Start with the landing page. If you are doing a website, show both the end user and the admin user if applicable. If applicable. Skip mundane flows such as creating user credentials. Nobody has time to watch it. Focus on 2Fs, functionality and features. I'm giving you one example here of creating a picture perfect website, let's say Swiggy or a Dunzo or a Masai School. Focus on functionality and features. And then demonstrate responsiveness. This is very important. Last but not the least, it is crucial to show what your project does, that you have completed the key components of it. Okay, landing page, user and admin, skip mundane flows such as creating credentials, focus on functionality and features, demonstrate responsiveness. Whatever you do, it's crucial to show what your project does, that you have completed the key components of it. That is how you demonstrate your working project. Now, this is one such project which was happening. I think this was which batch? I think this was, I guess it was Apache. And you see Jani Pasha. Jani is from local, and then we have Gagan. Gagan is from India Quotient. Radha is from Unitas. They were from the panel members that they were evaluating. Now this team, which has got Sandeep Babu and I don't know, the other 2-3 members, they presented it. They made a small slide on functionality. It made such a big difference compared to others. So probably if you want to insert some slides in between, it's perfectly fine. The next is structure, linkage, and flow. I think there is a question from Shubham Abhishek here. Skip mundane flows such as creating. What it means is many people, while demonstrating a project, they are super excited about login. Now that login details takes a long time, and everybody knows nothing great in creating login credentials. Make sure it is quick. Don't spend time there. It should, even you need not tell them I am logging in now. They know that, right? Everybody knows to do that. So the most important, friends, is the step number 7. This is where many people falter it. What is the structure that you have? Remember, in any presentation, there are 3 S's: structure, substance, and style. What is the structure that you have? What is the linkage that you have from when you go from one page to another page, from one concept to another concept? Is the flow appropriate? That is very important. There has to be a logic. There has to be a strong linkage to move from one page to another page. Then do not jump from one page to another page haphazardly. Don't do that. People keep moving from one page to another page because they don't know what to show. Either कुछ दिखा दिया और कुछ याद आ गया, वो page पे चला गया. Then they go somewhere else. It's a complete mess. Don't do that. Make sure that presentation flows smoothly, no awkward pauses. Saying too much on one area is also not appropriate. Some people, what will they do? They get stuck. I'm going to do, or they struggle. They don't know what to do, how to move to the next screen. All this will come if you have prepared well, if you have rehearsed well, only then it is possible. Tip number 8. During this entire 8-10 minutes, you must demonstrate the 3 C's as I told you: confident, comfort, and control. How do you do that? First thing you need to do is speak slow. Never rush. Don't be very slow. At an appropriate pace is important. Be assertive. Don't be aggressive. Don't be passive. Voice is the most powerful virtual tool. It demonstrates your confidence. Make an effort to speak clearly, to speak loudly, but don't shout. Don't be very fast. Smile and be relaxed throughout the presentation. Use hand gestures. Have you seen me? How much of hand gestures I use within this small window? Deliberately practice. Now it has become natural. I don't need to worry about it. At the moment I say 3, my fingers come off like this. Or if I want to say like this, automatically it comes because I have been doing it. See, normally, automatically it has come. That is the way it is called muscle memory. It is the way it is called muscle memory, for which you have to train. Consciously, you do it, it will become uncomfortable in the beginning, but you keep doing it, it becomes very natural. See, what did I do? Very natural. Trust me, hands automatically come to my heart. Let me tell you something. See, I'm trying to bring your attention here. All these are hand gestures, very, very, very useful. Body language, right? Next one is look at the webcam. I've spoken enough about it. You must get comfortable looking at the webcam. He's your friend. Don't get intimidated. He's your friend. He's going to help you to connect with the audience thousands of miles away. He's going to help you to connect. Let's use that tool. And whenever is required, pause. You've given us some important concept. Give amount of time for absorption. Pause for absorption. Okay, that's very important. Show you are excited about this project. If you are not excited, you think the judge is going to be excited, the interviewer is going to be excited. Enthusiasm is a key. Excitement on building the project is the key. Okay, tip number 8, and last but not the least, is sticking to the time. If you're being given 7 minutes, you must practice in such a way you complete it in 7 minutes. If you're being given 10 minutes, you must do it in 10 minutes. It should not be over, it should not be under. That is the way you practice. That's the way you prepare. So enthusiasm in your voice is a key to be a more engaged audience. And as I told you, start on time, end on time. Everyone's time is valuable and needs to be respected. And unfortunately, we as a Indians, the culture, we don't give value to the time. It's okay to come late. It's okay to get extended. But in most professional setup, especially if you're working with clients and they happen to be who respect time is amazing. I need to tell you one thing. We did a lot of work with Mahindra. In Mahindra and Mahindra, adhering to time is very important. It is from the CEO to anyone, they have to adhere the time for a presentation. Every time there is a meeting, and if there is a meeting, should have a schedule. And let's say that your schedule is 20 minutes. There is one person who will have that, I don't know, what do you call that? The bell. You remember the good old bell? You press like this and it ring, ring, it does. And there will be a person to monitor it. And let's say it's a 10-minute. At the end of 8th minute, you will do one like this. That means 1 minute to go. Or sorry, 2 minutes to go. At the 9th minute, he will give a long beep. That means a minute to go. At the end of 10th minute, he has a right to continuously keep pressing. It is including even if Mr. Anand Mahindra is making a presentation, he has told his members that you can use it. And that's what I've been told, and they follow it. Now, I think that is the way in which you respect somebody's time. Start on time, end on time. Everyone's time is valuable and needs to be respected. Wrapping up, equally important. The way you start and the way you end is equally important. Highlight its potential use cases. Obviously, given the fact that you're working on a project for X number of days, you won't be able to build everything. And as you're building, you may also think that if I can add these features, or you may not have learned completely to build those features. So you can tell them that we have some ambitions to take this project to the next level, and thank the judges. Started with greeting, started with basic salutation. You need to end with thanking them, right? Is it not human that they have listened to you for 7, 8 minutes? Right? Just thank them. I want to thank this opportunity to make this project and present in front of you, and tell them we are open for queries. Any queries, we'll be happy to answer to you. Identify the while you cannot 100% prepare for the queries that you're going to come, but you can prepare for something. मुझे लगता है इसमें question आएगा, उसमें शायद आ सकता है. They may ask some questions, right? So let's prepare in the scope of preparation. And whenever there is a question, do not panic. If you don't know, it's perfectly fine to admit I'm not sure about it. I'm not aware of this. Let me explore and get back to you, right? And do not interrupt. Many people are eager to answer. Listen completely. Listen to the whole question well. take a minute or two to absorb if required, and then understand, the clarify if required, take few seconds to respond, do not rush. Now this is again a structure. What people do, they rush. The moment a question comes, उसको तो मैं अभी बोल देने का, मत करो. Completely, if you do it, and you will be able to do it. And when you're responding, keep the answers short and to the point. If the panel requires more information, they will ask you for more follow-up question. Ability to give response in the shortest way will be your biggest strength. Okay, so wrap up. Projects, hackathons are all about bringing ideas in a very short span of time. Audience and judges understand that there is only so much of time that you can present. Bugs won't lose a hackathon or a project or a rejection. If I can leave you with one piece of advice, it's allocate more time to prepare and practice your virtual presentation. Don't let that 3-5 minutes of your presentation to undo all the hard work and sleepless nights. Okay, so remember, 30 weeks of effort is being tested in 10-15 minutes. And if you don't have the skill, you will mess it up. I've given you 10 tips. 3 tips what to be done before and 7 tips during. And you keep this as a checklist I'm going to give you. Keep practicing it and you'll be able to do that. Final thought, I've given you these tips. Now is a time for you to take off to the next level when it comes to your presentation. So practice well, enjoy the opportunity, and I wish you good luck. So that's about effective virtual presentation.